Good morning, everybody. My name is Sajid. I would like to welcome Mr. Samuel Wankhade, who is from Bangalore. And I would like to give brief introduction about Mr. Samuel. He is into learning and development for sales professional and working for a giant multinational pharmaceutical company, and he's also a public speaker. He has been awarded national on a national and international platforms for his public speaking skills, and he has an experience of more than 20 years in the industry. So today he's here as a capacity of being a home buyer consumer, and he will talk about the prospects of home buying, the challenges that he faced, and the role of digitalizations in this era, post pandemic to be particular. We would like to say thank you and welcome Samuel in joining us. And the session will be moderated jointly with me and Mr. Rishi Bhamre. So yes, Samuel, thanks. That was the introduction. I hope that I short fall on that, I suppose,
Yeah, no,
considering
that's
the
fine.
time.
Welcome, sir.
Sajid,
Welcome.
thanks so much.
Yes.
So my first
Yeah.
question, like before starting up the whole thing, thank you for joining. My first question to you in this webinar would be what is your role of digitalization? What do you think? What is the role of digitalization in your profession, like learning and development, especially when your profession is considered to be more effective in being physically present with your audience?
Rishi, as well as Sajid, as they say that necessity is the mother of all inventions. So it's very true about the current situation as well. To be honest, we never anticipated a year like 2020, and especially for us in doing in-person or face-to-face meeting, and to then move on to virtual meetings was something we never imagined. Also, the adaptation we thought would be difficult, so it was quite confusing on how do we go about it. But this year challenged us. We developed something known as micro learning. We introduced gaming. We prioritize what we should focus upon for the business teams. And I must say that in terms of satisfaction related to the work, this was the best year because I broke the monotony and introduced a lot of innovative learnings. I'm also happy that I was part of an organization which had those online resources which could help us. I mean, let's assume that if there are other organizations or my peers within the industry who do not have that capability, or their organization does not have that capability, they struggled. So I'm glad in a way, and I believe going forward, remotely engaging your stakeholders within the organization, remotely engaging customers is the way going forward. And in any organization which has that will have an edge, in my opinion.
Very true, sir. Very true, and completely agreed with you, sir, on that point. So my second question to you would be: can you visualize a future where like a home can be traded like another expensive commodity? If yes, then what changes do you think the industry should adapt?
Well, Rishi, I spent a lot of time in Bombay. So I remember this one time, I think this was 23, 24 years ago. I had been to Aptech. So I don't know, many of you would probably remember Aptech, NIIT, which was
Yeah,
a
I
big,
know.
yeah, you would probably. So when I met this, so the person at the reception, he was called a counselor. And he said that in years to come, there is something going to be known as internet superhighway, where you will be able to purchase your shirt online. I'm talking about 23, 24 years ago, and I thought this man is out of his mind. But today it's a reality.
Right.
Today it's absolutely a reality. In fact, I lived in a rented house for a long time. I never met my owners, the landlords. I just paid all because everything is online. In fact, when I purchased this house where I'm speaking to you right now, I haven't met the seller either. Everything was online. Uh, Today, I believe even purchasing home, which may look like a distant reality, may be happening sooner than later. You might be able to close a deal on video conference also, I suppose. So I believe online digitalization is going to catch up and it's going to happen sooner than later.
That is very true, sir. That is very true. And I think that due to pandemic, that we all are forced to use digital, and that is the main reason why a lot of people have turned to digital as an alternative medium. and they are getting satisfied with that particular medium, I think, and they are getting used to it also at the same time.
Yeah.
And I think, Samuel, we are very glad that we as a company, or we as a promoter of a reality project, we are very glad that we have similar kind of thought process with the, let's say, a consumer like you. So if you, let's say, a citizen of 21st century feels that the digitalization is the way forward, and obviously we have a lot of hopes based on your views that down the line we will have many consumers like you who will prefer to buy digitally or make it happen, which is what we are seeing probably a very near future, in the near future. So my our next question would be like, recently you were lucky to buy a new home in a city like Bangalore. So what were the challenges that you faced initially, and if you would like to highlight some of them about it? Yes.
Yes, Sajid, it was somewhere around May, March, April that I decided to go ahead, we as a family to purchase a house here in Bangalore now that we spent 10 years here. Uh, One of the biggest challenges was COVID. So the properties we wanted to see, the sites we wanted to visit, they had restrictions. So we were looking at ready to move in or, under construction. So COVID was a big challenge, for us as well and for the seller as well. The other than that, I found that paperwork to be a little tedious, to be honest. Everybody said that it will be happen at the snap of a finger, but took a little while. There were projects which we were interested in, which should have completed by November, December last year, but just because of COVID, now they are shifted by about a year's time. So I may have ended up buying that house, but couldn't. Other than that, while I'm fortunate to have my job, I hope it continues to be that way. But there's certain amount of uncertainty hanging around. Uh, Moreover, government did talk about EMI moratorium, but again, you end up paying more towards the end, isn't it? Uh, but I believe, it was a good choice at the end of the day to invest in my own house because the rents were increasing, the landlords not getting any more kinder, to be honest. That's their source of income. You cannot blame them either. So I believe these were some of the challenges which I, experienced.
So certainly. And now, as we're talking about this digitalization or the use of technology in every possible way to simplify our life, so do you think that digitalization or use of technical innovations can help to revive the real estate industry, or in some way the challenges you faced in home buying, uh, how it can be like overcome with the use of technology?
Like today, Sajid, you are in Bombay and I'm in Bangalore.
Right.
Today we're discussing, and I think any number of people who want to watch this can watch this. Uh,
Absolutely. Yeah.
it's almost like we are having a face-to-face conversation, that kind of thing. So I believe even in real estate or like I would have loved to have a virtual tour of a property that would have helped. Maybe organizing a call like this with multiple buyers together, resolving and giving them at a go, and which is absolutely at, I wouldn't say no cost, but low cost. So it becomes convenient. So I'm at my home. I don't have to worry about COVID. I don't have to worry about any other priorities. So virtual tour will definitely help. Maybe a virtual augmented reality put together. Today, work from home is another option, which, so I think that's something at the back of the mind of the buyers as well as sellers. uh, I, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. I believe homes are a little more affordable than they were about a year ago, so that's also, good thing. So it's like a buyer's
Yeah.
market, I would like to say. So, and the other thing is that today I'm not like many offices. Like my office works on selected days, like Mondays, Thursdays, so on and so forth. Some
Yeah.
offices have work from home, so it's not about office anymore. So if I have to go on 2 days in a week, then I don't really have to bother about the distance. So distance doesn't count anymore. So it's more about
Correct.
maybe your children's school or their convenience, about my your parents for that matter. So being closer to what actually helps them grow is
Yeah.
what is more important than so I believe that is something that can be resolved by the digital medium.
Perfectly. Thank you so much, Samuel. That was very good insight, especially about the virtual tour, and a group of people can coming together. So it helps the company who's into the marketing to save cost or save time. So it's a wonderful insight. Yes. Yes, Rishi, you have more questions?
Yes, sir. So I wanted to, like very rightly said by you, that homes are a bit affordable nowadays, and I totally agree with that point. And sir, I just wanted to ask you that how did digitalization help you in like surviving the whole pandemic?
In
I guess this question
surviving,
is like
yeah,
faced
yeah,
by a lot of people, almost everyone these days.
yeah.
Yeah, everyone has their own experience. So, I mean, you can
Correct.
share your own,
Like
Yeah,
the few months that
let me
you
tell, like grocery for that matter. The
have.
simple
Right,
thing like grocery. I mean, I was scared to go out of my house. I wanted to, but my wife wouldn't let me go. So I could just simply order it online, isn't it?
right.
We purchased a new house. Many of the things around in my house are purchased online. So everything that, right from the pots that we have to the TV that we have, everything is ordered online. So digitalization did not really hamper, my purchase process or to, satisfy the needs, daily needs as well. In fact, in our apartment, every day there are about 70 to 80 deliveries from Amazon and Flipkart put together. Uh,
Mhm.
Earlier, I had to go down to the security. I don't know what you call, go to the gallery and you call, Bhaiya ji, acha pani nahi aa raha. But today I can just go to, my gate or Adda and call up the security, put in my complaint. It's so digital and so easy and convenient that you don't have to travel the distance. So I
Absolutely.
believe it's really helped survive the pandemic very well. I think if the pandemic had to happen, this was the best time. I'm sorry, don't get me wrong, but if
Yeah,
digital was not there, I think we would have really struggled.
I think it helped in some way the human to evolve to a new age, which is the
Yes,
real in technical sense. Yes, because earlier people were like reluctant to use technology, but this pandemic there it has forced them to be on the platform or use or become educated, literate themselves. So it helped a lot in that sense. Yes.
Sachin, I would also like to say that, while we're talking about technology and internet and online, I'm still at the base level, all right? My daughter is
Right.
much better than me in comprehension about, how to operate phones and stuff. So
Yeah.
even at the base level, it's made my life easy. So I believe someone who's a notch higher than me would,
Mhm.
would be like fish in water kind of experience for them.
Right.
That
So,
is true, sir.
do you think that human and machine will conflict down the line? Do you see?
I don't know, but yeah, here I would like to say, maybe Rishi or you. So you know about Dada Saheb Phalke, right? So he was the one who made the first feature film in India,
Yes.
and
Yes.
you would guess the challenges that he had. So the challenges that he had, there were dramas, the theaters which were there earlier. So when he proposed a feature film, everybody around him told him that, what, who would watch a feature film when I can watch somebody live, I can hear someone live. Why would I go ahead and watch a feature film? Can you
Right.
believe that statement would hold true today? Definitely not. I mean, like everything exists. Like the theaters exist and movies also exist. We watch it right on the mobile. So I think the way things have moved ahead and the technology has moved ahead, I think it's going to be a hybrid model. So it is going to be complementing the traditional and the internet or the digital world is going to complement that.
That
Perfect.
is true,
Yes.
sir. So I would like to ask you just one last question before this webinar ends. That what do you think? So home buying should be like which is better, standard way or the technological based way?
Yeah, Rishi, going back to the same story about Dada Sai Phalke, I think it's going to be a hybrid model. Even in my organization, we've realized, we're going to go ahead with a hybrid model, interact virtually wherever possible, and meet in person wherever possible, and merge both of them. I think that's going to be the way forward. It's not going to be out and out digital and not out and out the way it was so far. It's going to be a hybrid model, and I think that's the best way. So there are advantages of both, and I think they they will probably give the buyer as well as seller a better experience.
That is true, sir. That is very true, sir. I'm completely agreed with your point. So by this, I would like to thank you for giving your time to us and sharing so beautiful insights about the whole pandemic and how technology can actually revolutionize the whole way that we work today and the way that we live also. Thank you so much, sir, for your time, and sir also Sajid sir for your time. And
Thank you.
I
Thank
have
you.
personally learned a lot of things, and I'm very sure that our viewers would also learn a lot about how technology is basically revolutionizing the whole thing, the whole industry, and not just real estate, but different types of industries in the whole world. So thank you so much. Thank you so much to all the viewers to view this particular webinar. We are coming back soon with the new webinars. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you, Samuel. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Yes.
Sajid,
See
and
you
thank
then.
you, Rishi.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bye.
Bye bye.